Hi, you're welcome back again to my YouTube channel. If you're just joining for the first time, my name is Frances Onako, and this is a channel where we discuss chemistry, we learn chemistry, and we talk about real life issues. If you're yet to subscribe, please do so. Hit that red bell button in front of you. Hit that red button in front of you and press the notification bell so that anytime I post new content, you will get it. And for my returning subscribers, thank you so much for always returning. Now let's get to it. Today is about real life issues. If you notice, I'm just like I was in the last video of this, part 1 of this video. This is a continuation of it, the part 2, part 2 of my friend's life story, Chizo, Madam Chizo. So, though if you haven't watched the part 1, please do just go back to the part 1 and watch it, so you can follow up. And if you've watched part 1, get set for the part 2. Let's ride. So, welcome back once again. So, like I said, this is the part 2 of my life story, the life story of my friend Chizo. You know, I ended up where she told me the real story of how her life has been. You know, if you see this lady, you will never know she underwent this. Always very calm, always has a smile on her face, and always ready to help. You know, when she came to my house, I don't have any house help. This lady took up, and I have a small baby. This lady took up task. You know, she was doing everything effortlessly without being told. Me, I just relaxed like a princess while she was doing every single thing. This is just such a wonderful human being, you know. So, and this is her story. She got married at a very young age. You know, when she's not from a rich home. Her elder sister got married and then took her along to, help her in the house. So she was the one that took care of all her sister's children, So, and one of their townspeople who happened to be an acquaintance of the sister met her, a rich man, and he liked her, took interest in her, and wanted to marry her. To her, she felt she was still too young for marriage. I think she was still a teenager then, but she was due to their status, she was persuaded to marry. That is a good choice, that she will not suffer knowing the man is wealthy. So she took the bold step. They got married. At first they were living peacefully, but they were living in the village, the man's village, which is also their village, because they are both from the same place, and then the man was living in, he has his own house, but in the same compound. The mother and the siblings were still living, the father was also alive. The father, she said, to her had this problem. The father-in-law never gave her any issue. People she had issues with were the mother and the siblings, and of course the husband. Decided the husband. So at first they were living happily and peacefully, and she used to attend the LL, this, and there's an LL adoration organized by a popular Catholic priest, Reverend Father Ede. So he used to attend the program, and then the husband and the mother, they were attending with her. Then one day, and when they were supposed to attend, the husband was supposed to attend with her, but he told her to go ahead, that he will come later, So when they attend, they normally spend the night, and the next day they start coming back. She was surprised. The man did not show up. She kept on looking out and waiting for him. He didn't show up. So when she was about to coming back the next day, she bought some things, sacramentals and holy oil, as evidence that that was where she went to. When she reached home, and asked the man why he did not show up. To her surprise, the man started shouting on her. It was a shock to her. Started shouting on her, you know. He took the things that she bought, those sacramentals and holy water, and went outside, threw away the holy water, burnt the sacramentals, and then, you know, what happened? What was the problem? She could not say. The mother that was supporting her before, I was okay with her going to Elele, joined the son. That was when her problem started. The man became a beast towards her. Everything she did irritated the man. She would cook food and offer him. The man would throw back the food at her. You know, that is, he became a beast. You know, if she talks, he will shout at her. He will beat her. You know, what was the problem? She didn't know what happened, and the life still continued like that. You know, there was no love again from the man. The life became a nightmare for her in the house. She could not even talk. Everybody, the sisters, the mother, when she went to complain, they were all against her. They asked her, what did you do to your husband for him to be behaving like that to you? Try to find a way and try to find out what you did. Everybody was against her. Her food, only her used to cook, eat. She would cook and eat, you know. So, wow, it was terrible. Then she got pregnant and gave birth to their first son. She thought maybe that will even melt the man's heart towards her. No way. The man was even and worse. Many times she was breastfeeding, the man would come and drag the baby out of her and then beat her for one thing or the other. You know, so she was suffering all these things in silence, because she's not really the type that talks. Even when she's talking in a very slow, that is a very that is soft tone, and you really need to be patient to be able to to listen to her. If you're not patient, you will not be able to listen to her, you know. So this continued. She was enduring. Sometimes the man will chase her out of the house, you know, to wherever, and she would spend the night outside, and she kept enduring, you know, until one day when the man, when she was telling me this story, I was annoyed with her for enduring. I was annoyed with her for enduring. God, because someone endured this. I'm not even saying this as, there were terrible things the man did to her. Very terrible, you know. That is that she was treated like an animal. God. It was the man, he was like a rag that he was trodden on anyhow. So one day she came back from church to see that her things had been thrown away, because the man told her to stop going to church. She said that she must be going to church. That one was also another annoyance on the man. That was the one she insisted on, that she will not stop going to church. She will not stop. You know, she even joined the CWO of the church and some other organizations. You know, that was where she was having solace, and you know, and you're telling her to stop going there. So what happened? One day she came back to find her load outside. The man had thrown away some of her things and insisted that she must go. She pleaded for the man to give her son, that she was still breastfeeding the son. Let her go with the son so she could continue breastfeeding him. The man said no. So this woman had to leave without her son. It was excruciating for her. So she left and went back to her parents' house. And her people were not happy with how she was treated, but there was nothing they could do. You know, our country, it's terrible. The rich, they are so powerful. The poor are just hopeless. You know, some months later, the man came back again to start asking for her hand, to start pleading for her to come back. You know, after much pleading and assurance from her that from him that he will not treat her, he will be a better husband, her people allowed her to go, and she agreed to go because of her son. She went back. At first, the man was okay. They even went for counseling to a reverend father. The man was okay, and they were living well. Then all of a sudden, When she became pregnant for the second son, somehow the man started changing again, you know. And after the birth of the son, he even became worse. He became worse than he was before, you know. And there was nothing he did not do to her. Nothing. Her room, she's a very tidy human being. She will finish dressing her room, making it tidy. This man will come into that room and scatter everything just to annoy her. She will leave her room neat to go out. When she comes back, the room will be untidy. And in the process, the man went and brought in another wife. There was nothing. The man was even body shamed her. That he didn't know what attracted him to her. He attracted her to him. That there was nothing attractive in her. That she was dry. She was a dry bones, very dull human being, very ugly, and in fact that he's the best thing to happen to her, and that if she leaves him, that no man will look at her. These things she will just keep silent, quiet. That even seemed to be infuriating the man the more. Her silence used to be infuriating him. So sometimes when he beats her, expecting her to react, she will not react. And if you see this lady, you know that she's telling you the truth. Because there are sometimes I will lose my cool and even talk rudely, no reaction from her. You're the one that will even start feeling bad. I will always apologize immediately. So, and she will just accept, and life continues. She never changed her feelings towards me, her behavior towards me. So this continued. The man brought in another wife. This woman did not even know what the genesis of the problem. She just came in and started fighting and Chizo. Started fighting Chizo. What a terrible experience. So until one day, she was about to say her morning prayer. There was a loud bang on her door. Boom, 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 boom. She thought it was the man, because he used to just disturb her peace. The man, someone that does not have peace, not want another person to have peace. I think her presence in that house was disturbing him. Yet he could not really allow her to go finally. Yet her presence was giving him, was denying him of peace. That was something. So, someone that a bad man will never have peace. So she ignored the banging and continued with her prayer until she heard please, open this door, the police. So she now opened the door and told them, pleaded with them that she was praying, that she actually thought it was her husband, that is his normal life, always disturbing her peace, and she didn't want to give him the chance to disturb her peace that morning. They should please give her time to finish her prayer. When they told her, they came to arrest her. So after her prayer, she begged them to allow her to cook her food and eat, that she hadn't eaten, no breakfast. That they don't give her breakfast in the house. It's the one that she cooks in her room that she eats. They told her that they could not consent to that one, and instead let her come to the station. When she comes to the station, she could buy something. There are people that sell food there. In fact, they were polite to her because they were expecting to see one, according to the report the husband gave them, that this woman was a troublemaker, always harassing him, always fighting him, always causing trouble in the house. When they now came and saw fragile looking Chizo, in fact, they were shocked. And from the way she was talking, she didn't look like someone that was a troublemaker. I think the Spirit of God arrested them. So the husband was mad when they saw how they were relating with her. He thought they would just come bundle her, and they bundle her into the vehicle in handcuffs and torture her. He was surprised. They were friendly with her, so they allowed her to take care of her things, and then she joined them in the car. And while in the car, she now told them what she was passing through. She just gave them a hint of what she was passing through in the house. These men were shocked. That's when they told her, look at what your husband came to report about you. So at the police station, they stayed for some time before taking her in, to the officer that was supposed to handle the case. To her consternation, the first officer, immediately he saw her, told them no, that this is not a case he could handle. They should take her to another officer, a higher officer. They took her to the higher officer. That officer saw her and repeated what the first officer said, that no, this is not a case he could handle. They should take her to another. Up to 3 of the other officers, no one wanted to handle that case. Finally, she was referred back to the first officer. So the man, when they now came back to the man now told them that they should come back in a week's time, so that the case could be, so that he will be able to look into the case. So when they went home, the man was mad, and saying that she manipulated the police officers, and of course the maltreatment continued. So sometimes you beat her outside, and my God. Oh, well, after a week's time, after the weeks, that's in 1 week's time, when they went back, they were told to write statements. Each person wrote their statement, and then the man told them to, after reading the statement, he told them to come with their kids the next day as witnesses to know who to actually believe. So, not knowing, behind that, the man went and turned the children against her, to told them what to say, lies to say about her. So when they came the next day with the kids, the man's new wife also came to offer the man moral support. The first son said, when they asked the first son, he said the truth. He saw what he was witnessing. He said it, and then, but the second son said what the father told him to say. So the policeman is a smart man now. He now called the second son, who's a little child, and asked him to who told him to say what he said. Innocent child said it's the father that told him to say it. But the man denied and said that is a lie. That is a lie, that he never told the son anything. That is how the woman, that if he's lying, let him have an accident in his car. He bought a new car then. Let him have an accident in his new car, if he's lying. So the police officer, of course, a wise man, he knew the man was lying, and he told him so. He scolded him, reprimanded him, admonished him, for treating his wife like that, and then wanting her to come to the station to be tortured. And which kind of a beast are you? And you're not fit to marry anybody. No way is fit to be with you. And he even turned to the new wife that was there, and finished her for agreeing to marry this kind of a person. He told her that her own and her own maltreatment was coming, that it will only take time. That did she think that he would not maltreat her the way he was maltreating Chizo, my friend? He finished them, and then he advised the little children that they should always respect them. That there's nothing like mother. That they cannot have two mothers. And there's nothing like mother. So they should always love and respect their mother. So after that, they now went home. Of course, the man was mad, and I forgot, the policeman told the man that if anything should happen to Chizo, that they will hold him responsible. So when they went home, of course, the man was mad. But then Chizo had already made up her mind that she would leave that house, because for the man to have gone to this extent, that means he can do more. He could do more. So the first son that said the truth was denied food when they reached the home. And of course, they were told never to near Chizo, their mother. So Chizo, on hearing that the son did not eat, sneaked him into her room and gave him food. So the poor boy was afraid that if they see him with her now, his torture will be worse, So, but finally, she managed to sneak him out without them seeing him. I think they also later called him and gave him food. Yeah, because of they love the children anyway. The aunties, the uncles, they love the children. Her mother-in-law loves the children, and of course the husband loves his sons. So it's just that Chizo that they hate. So she finally decided to leave. At least her children were at least we are no more babies. You know, the first one was 5 years then, and the second child was 3.5. So she felt they were in good hands and she could live for her own life. So she left and went back to her sister's house where she was staying. But then the children had grown up a little, and the sister was now had a share at my tree. Then my tree was just starting up. You know, my tree market in Port Harcourt, it was still, you know, they were very scanty then in the market. So she used to join her sister to go to the market, and she started learning a trade, learning how to sew. Let her start doing something, take care of herself, you know, so she could heal from the trauma of that psychological trauma she underwent in that marriage. Could you believe that 3 years later, one morning, the man landed at their shop in my tree? She didn't know how the man found out, you know, that she should come back, that the children needed her. She did not agree. The man was not even looking repentant. She did not agree to come back, and the sister did not also agree for her to come back. They were adamant. She told the man, instead, let him be bringing the children to her so that she could be bonding with them there, but not for her to come back to that house. Who knows why he wanted her to come back? Maybe to come and kill her. So the man went, and after that she didn't hear from him again until years later, when she heard the man died in a car, his car. He had an accident in that car and died just like that. You know, it's not good to use your mouth to say things that will bring and that will be detrimental to your health. You knew you were lying, and you still said, if you're lying, let you die, you have an accident in your car. And of course, he had an accident in his car years later. It didn't happen immediately, it happened years later, but it still happened. You know, let's be careful of what we say with our mouths. So then her problem now became bonding with her children. The children hated her. You know, they were so brainwashed, especially the second son. They were so brainwashed that they didn't want to have anything to do with her. They didn't want to have anything to do with her. They just distanced themselves from her. So that was another problem she was under facing when I met her in that River State, Port Harcourt. Because if they were... Hi. Publishing on Amazon is one of the best things to happen to you as an author. Number one, you publish your book without spending a dime, and you earn without having to stress yourself. Amazon does the work for you. Your only job is to publish. Put down your details, and Amazon takes it up. Do you want to learn how this is done? You want to learn how this is done? It's an easy process. It's in an almost free way. I will not tell you free way because of course I will charge you a little. I will charge you for spending my time and effort, but then you get much more than you're going to spend. Just press those numbers on top, send me a DM, and we start immediately. Your plug is here. See you. They were supposed to be taking care of her, you know, but you know, she was on her own. So anyway, I told her, of course, we should put it in prayers, that there's nothing God cannot do. So after that, after some days, of course, she left. Then one day, she called me on the phone, filled with joy, and telling me that her first son called her, you know, and she gisted with him, and you know, I told her that was just the beginning, and really it was the beginning, because gradually she said they started calling her. The first son kept calling her, you know. They said that they're getting to know each other all over again, mother and son, you know. He started asking about her welfare, and gradually the second son joined. Though it took him time, you know, it really took him time, but gradually he joined, and then the friendship, the bond continued, you know. And then, you know, what actually led me to tell this story is that the first son, about to get married this year, brought his wife to be, to meet his mother. Hey, I was so happy when I heard this. You see, this God, what he cannot do does not exist. You know, the daughter-in-law, was so nice to and this my friend Chizo, so nice to her, and finally she had to go for their wedding. They bought her flight ticket. She traveled to Abuja with a flight. Can you imagine that? Chizo, hey, poor lonely woman that used to trek. Just like that. She traveled to Abuja with flight. They bought her a new phone. In fact, they raised her, the standard of her life a little. And she has been at Abuja since. Even as I'm talking to you now, she's still at Abuja. After they were being pampered, and being taken care of, having that mother-child bond, mother-children bond, with her children. And the last call she gave me was that the children now said that of course she will go back to her base in Port Harcourt, but that she will not live in that house, that room again, that she has to look for a flat where she would stay, and they would of course cover the expenses. I told her the next thing is that they will buy a car for you and get a driver for you to be taking you around. There is nothing God cannot do. It's just like a dream to her, but it's happening. It is happening. It happened. It is happening. There's nothing God cannot do. Just trust in God. Believe in God. Have faith. Be patient. God will do it for you. There's nothing he cannot do. So, my dear people, this is the story of my friend Chizo, a real life story which I witnessed with my eyes, and I'm so happy for her. I'm so happy beyond words. Her pictures will be shown after this video. And once again, if you have an inspiring story, don't hesitate. Give me a call or send me a DM on that number on top, or send it through my email so that I can share it with the world. People need to be inspired. People are depressed. Especially in this country of ours, now in Nigeria now, many people are depressed. They need something to cheer them up, something to motivate them, something to give life meaning to their lives. So please don't hesitate to share their story. You'll be surprised at how many people you are helping, how many people you are preventing from committing suicide, how many people you are bringing out from depression, how many people you are giving hope. Send your story if you have it. This is where we end this video for today. Thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. You'll not regret it. You learn a lot from this channel. Okay, and for my returning subscribers, thank you so much. Okay, till we meet again, it's a bye. So this is Chizo. It's looking so beautiful. And this is her with her first son. Oh, so lovely. And with her new daughter-in-law. Wow, that's great.